Yo, what's going on, guys? Reversal here. Today I'll be doing a Sprite deck profile for the current format. So Spright recently got some indirect support in the Battles of Legends set in the form of the Ice Barrier Mirror Mage. And what that card allows you to do is it turns Swap Frog into another one card combo, and it lets you end on Toad again. So between those two things, it helps the deck a lot in terms of its end board, its consistency, pushing through hand traps, which it was already pretty good at doing, and that just helps it even more. So just that one card coming out and that small 2-card package helped the deck tremendously, and Sprite's a viable option for sure again. Especially if you're on a budget, I think this is a great deck to pick up. The only expensive card is SP, and that's getting reprinted in the tins. So, and if you don't have it, I'll kind of give you an alternative you could play instead, which is not like as good obviously, but you can get away with not playing it if you're playing a different package in addition to the Ice Barrier cards, which I am, but I'll explain that more in the profile. But before I get into it, if you haven't subscribed to the channel already, definitely do that now so you don't miss out on any future videos. Drop a like, comment, all that good stuff. And if you haven't checked out my sponsor Final Saga at finalsaga.de, check them out. They got a bunch of mats, deck boxes, sleeves, etc. And if you decide to buy anything over there, use my code Reversal10 for 10% off your order. This mat that I'm using right now is from them, and it's a part of their recently released anime Ora Set, which has like this mat, comes with these gold-plated god cards, and then each character, which is YUGIOH, Kaiba, and Merrick, they come with like the anime decks. So you have like these cool Orca cards like for each deck. So they're pretty cool. And then they have these deck boxes with like the characters etched into them, and then have like the design on the inside. So it's a pretty cool set. Yeah, check them out. They got a bunch of cool stuff over there. So with that being said, get right into the deck profile. So this list is on 41 cards. You could cut it to 40, you could even bump it up to 42 if you want to like fit something else, but anywhere between 40 and 42 is fine. So start off with the Spright cards. Pretty like standard ratios, I think. 3 jet, 3 blue. On 2 red and 1 carrot. I think the second red's nice to have. You don't necessarily have to play it, but I think it's worth including. Then we got our Nimble package, which is the 3 beavers and the 2 anglers. There's an argument to play a 3rd angler because of the synergy with Swap Frog, since when you open this with Swap Frog, it's really broken. And then it also works well with Forbidden Droplet. So there's definitely an argument to play a 3rd one of these, but for now I'm just playing 2. I might experiment with playing a 3rd one, maybe just bumping the deck up to 42, or replacing a red with another one potentially, but for now I'm just using the 2 and I think it's fine. So I can talk about the next little engine is the 3 Swap Frogs and the 1 Mirror Mage. And in addition to the Mirror Mage, I play the 1 Freezing Chains. So these cards are really cool. You can, if you open Swap Frog, you can either special itself if you have another water like the Nimble Angler or whatever, or if you open the Mirror Mage, you could just pitch it, summon itself, and then when this card's sent to grave, you get to add this to hand. So this lets you special this from the grave, and then you have Toad there, or if all you had was Swap Frog, you could just go into Gigantic or Sprint and do just your 1-card combo. But this little 2-card package, in addition to the Swap Frogs being a 1-card combo, is just everything this deck really needed to become relevant again, because Toad's such a powerful card, especially with double cross. You can get like double Toad. It just helps the deck in terms of having negate, and then a second negate if you have the double cross as well. And more importantly, it helps you with follow-up, since when the Toad goes to the grave, you can add yourself back a beaver, so you have that for next turn. So this package is great. It's it really helped this deck so much. And then we have one more little engine to talk about, and it is how I used to play the deck before I sold it a while ago, and that is playing the 2 Melffy cards as well. So these are completely optional, but in my opinion, these two cards help the deck going first so much, because if you don't play these, like say you're going through your combo and you haven't like gone through your Swap Frog stuff yet, like you really want your Gigantic to resolve so you can get to the Swap Frog into the Toad, so your end board's actually like good. So otherwise you're just kind of ending on like an IP and maybe some bodies, maybe like a red or a carrot to go with it. But with these two, you get to make a lot better use of like the random level 2s that you have left over. And these cards let you commit to Gigantic a lot earlier to play around Nib. And then like if your Gigantic does get stopped, it's a lot easier to just pivot to a Sprint, and then that gets you the 2 bodies to go into the Melffy line. So you're getting to like the Melffy end board through hand traps a lot more consistently than you're getting to the Toad end board if you don't like open the swap stuff. So that's why I think these cards are really good. And then it just lets you go into Herald, which is another Omni Negate, and it's like a semi-floodgate against some decks too. Can turn off cards like Droplet as well. So I think it's really nice, but at least with the Droplet, you're kind of forcing them to use it early, but if it stopped it completely, that'd be nice, but they could still chain that, unfortunately. But it's pretty, they'd have to send a lot before like starting to really commit their cards, so it's still kind of a hindrance. But I like these cards a lot. For going first, they help a ton. When you're going second, you just side these out. And these are really good, especially into shifter decks as well, since the Toad cards are pretty bad into shifter. So I think they're worth playing. You don't have to play them, but I'd rather end on the Melffy cards than just an IP personally. And for some spell and traps, we got the 3 starters, the 1 Gamma Burst, and the 1 Double Cross. No smashers. I don't really like that card. Never really liked it that much, and definitely don't like it right now. I think you have to play the Double Cross since it's so strong when you go first. And then the Gamma Burst is really nice when you're going second. It helps you OTK a lot easier. Sometimes you just need it to get over some big bodies as well. And you could opt to side this card for just for when you're going second, but I think it's worth maining because it does make going second a lot easier. Because sometimes this deck has a problem getting through like a board of big bodies. Like if you can establish a Zeus, obviously that's great, but sometimes it's tricky with the level 2 lock. You have like some cards like the Nightmares, SP, Onibimaru to help kind of clear boards, but sometimes this card could just help you to get over some stuff or to just end the game, so it's really nice to have. But you could definitely opt to side the Gamma Burst if you want, but I think it's worth maining. So for the non-engine, I'm on like a mix of hand traps and board breakers for this deck. Playing 3 Ash and 3 Imperm for the hand traps. This is going to change when Infinite Forbidden comes out, probably. I'm going to have to put like Drolls in the main deck for sure. But for now, this is kind of what I've been using. And I think it's fine. Like you could just play all hand traps, but these are like the main ones that I find are like consistently good. Then playing 3 Fenrir. I've always liked this card in this deck since Fenrir plus any level 2 turns into your full Sprite combo if you're like desperate. And it's just a really good card when you're going first or second. Playing 3 Forbidden Droplet. This card's really good. It helps with the, if you draw an Angler with it, it's really good as well going second. And it's just a really nice card to turn off whatever your opponent has on the board, and then you could go from there. And unlike Dark Ruler, you could still OTK through this, so pretty nice. And then playing 2 Talents. This is just a good card whether you're going first or second. The deck already plays through hand traps very well, so often if you get hit with one going first, you could hand rip them and then you just win from there pretty much 9 out of 10 times. And playing the 1 Call By. This is mainly just for hand traps. If you're facing against like Branded or something, you just want a card that could somehow get you to not get puppet locked potentially. And that's what like the Ash, Imperm, Droplet, Call By, they at least give you like a chance against that, even though that's going to be like a hard matchup no matter what, since even if they don't puppet lock you, Mirror J is really good against Sprites. So but these cards are just like really good generically into just about most decks, so just been going with this and it's fine. So that's it for the main deck. I guess it has 41 cards. The extra deck is pretty like standard extra deck for the most part, I think. One Sprint. If you play a third angler, you could definitely play a second Sprint, I think. IP and SP. If you don't have an SP, you can replace this with like a Nightmare Cerberus, and it's worse, but it's like fine. If you play them, as long as you play the Melffy cards, you're not ending as on IP as much because you could just go into the Melffy line. So I think if you're playing those and the swap stuff, you can get away without playing SP, but otherwise I think this card would be pretty mandatory if you're not playing the Melffy stuff. But it's really, you kind of need it regardless, but I'm just saying if you want to play the deck like on a budget, you can just replace this with Cerberus and like the deck's still playable. Then we got Phoenix and Dark for some more Link 2s. Dark's like the flex spot. Sometimes this card is nice just to be able to turn like 2 of your level 2s into a Link 2 in another body, and the Link 2 body helps you to climb into SP to get you like the banish, so you don't have to like do any like crazy things to get that effect alive, because if you just use 2 like regular level 2s, you don't get the banish. So that's really like the main thing it's there for. And then sometimes you could just take some different things like Bastiles, potentially like a Magnamut, since I'm siding a couple. If you're playing the Mirror, you could like summon one of their blues or jets. It's pretty good. Then XCs, we got 2 Gigantic, 1 Toad, 1 Onibimaru. We got the Mosquito. This card just lets you get to Zeus. It can let you just OTK out of nowhere. That's really good. Then we got the rest of the Zeus package. Downer, Zeus. And then we got the Mannequin Cat, the Melffy of the Forest, and the Arclight for the Melffy combo. So yeah, these cards are just, when you have like just 2 level 2s, you make the Melffy, you search Caddy, end phase Caddy summons itself, and then when your opponent summons something, bounces back and adds Penny, and then Penny will synchro into Herald, and Melffy of the Forest can target a monster on their field, and it negates it, and it makes it so it can't attack. So pretty good little interaction. And then you have like Herald, Toad, and Double Cross. You have like 3 Omni negates that all destroy, so it's very strong. But yeah, this extra deck's like super standard, I think. There's nothing really to talk about too much. So for the side deck, I'm going to show a little more than 15, as I usually do, to kind of give options. I think you want like a few more hand traps, whether it's just like 1 set of a high impact one for like any given matchup that I could work in. I think for that, Nibiru or Droll are the best 2. Post Infinite Forbidden, definitely Droll is going to be really good. I think Nibiru is going to be underrated after that set comes out too. But for now, you can either play both or just play one. It's just kind of how you want to go about it. And then you got the 2 Bastiles. These could also be like DD Crows potentially, but I think it's just nice to have these mainly for like the branded matchup. Then playing more board breakers. I like playing a Thrust package, so you could usually go on first or second. You got 2 Thrusts, Change of Heart and Mind Control. Steel cards are really nice. Then playing a Raigeki, since I think Raigeki is good in this deck, since you really just want to like clear their board and OTK them with Gamma Burst if you can. And Raigeki is good for doing that. And then for some more breakers, playing 2 Lightning Storm and Duster. And another one you could potentially play is Evenly Matched. This is more of like a optional one. I think it's a good card in general, but I feel like with Spright, you want to OTK if you can. And Evenly says that you can't do that, so it can be a risky card to play, but I think it's still potentially good because you can set up a good enough board to end the game after using it a lot of the time, but I don't think you necessarily need to play it either. Like, these would be plenty. And then you have like the going first traps that you could pick between. It's like Black Goat Last. That works well with Droplet as well if you're going second. Different Dimension Ground, mainly for Snake Eyes. D-Barrier for like 10 pi. Then you can side it in going first against decks that don't play hand traps still, like Branded. And then Karmic Cannon's pretty good as well. I wouldn't play all these, but if you end up with, like, say you cut the Evenlies and you only play like one of these 2 sets of hand traps, you could play 2 of these. So just some options, like Magic Deflector's another one. But just figured just give you some options to use. If you don't have thrusts, then obviously don't play these, and just kind of switch things up. Maybe play more hand traps, and then just switch the breakers around a little bit. Maybe play more of the steel cards or more Raigekis. But it's just like a template to go off. Yeah, it's gonna be it for the video today. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Peace.